Yo, what's good, guys? It's C-Jax back with another video. I am very happy to be here. I hope you guys are doing well. It has been a while since I have made a YouTube video, so I am very excited to be making one again today. As you can see, there is a little bit of a new setup going on back here. I had to switch things up a little bit instead of recording in the corner, while the fan's going over my head. But we are back, and that's all that matters. And we are here today to review Black Adam. Now, I just want to say first off, I had a really nice experience going to see this movie in theaters. And honestly, I think this movie benefited from two things, which I will discuss very shortly. So without further ado, let's get right into the spoiler review for Black Adam. Now, to start off the review, I do want to talk about those two things that I thought benefited this movie. And the first thing is that this year, for me personally, I haven't had a lot of entertainment or fun theater experiences while seeing superhero movies. With The Batman, I don't think the movie was bad. However, I just wasn't engaged and I wasn't fully entertained or invested in what was going on. And I found myself bored at some of the parts throughout that film. Same thing with Thor: Love and Thunder. But the difference with Thor: Love and Thunder is that it was actually bad, like straight up bad. So I was thinking about how things didn't make sense, how this doesn't work. I was bored while watching it. It's just annoying. Nobody wants to go into a movie and be disengaged while watching it. It doesn't feel good. But with Black Adam, I watched it and I was engaged and entertained the entire time. I wasn't trying to find my nearest sleeping bag while watching the freaking movie. So that was very helpful. Seems like the base minimum, for any movie that should be required. However, this movie giving me that felt like a nice breath of fresh air. And the second thing that benefited this movie is the expectations. We've seen recently with a lot of superhero projects that they're pulling the good old bait and switch. They make you think you're getting one thing, but you're really not. We saw this with Multiverse of Madness. They teased the breaking of the multiverse. Oh, there's going to be insane cameos. Stop. It wasn't like that. We got a couple cameos, but it was for mostly characters we didn't care about, and the ones we did care about got killed off. It was a disappointment. But with Black Adam, they tease you it's going to be an action-packed film. They tell you in the trailers, well, they don't tell you, but you can kind of tell it's going to be focused on Black Adam and his origin story. They're going to introduce the JSA, and it should be an entertaining movie from start to finish that also makes the DCEU feel more interconnected. And this movie delivered on all of that while also getting you excited for the future of DC. That, my friends, really benefited this movie. When you expect something and you get what you expect, you walk out with a higher level of content. Now, on to the actual movie itself. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the main character himself, Black Adam. Now, going into this film, yes, I was like many people, I was skeptical. Would The Rock give a good performance in this film, or was it going to be just another generic Rock performance? And I'm here to tell you that, in my opinion, I think The Rock did a great job as Black Adam inside of this movie. He captured the stoic nature of the character. He also captured the menacing nature of the character. And he kind of played that fish out of water role very, very well. And on top of that, his comedic timing was so unnecessarily good in this film. I don't even know what was going on. He had unnecessary comedy at certain points, but it worked. It was funny. The Rock did a great job in this film. And I thought the character himself, of Teth Adam / Black Adam was done well in this movie. They try and paint him out as a hero throughout this, but as the movie goes on and you see Hawkman and Dr. Fate and the JSA as a whole, their ideology clashed with Black Adam, it makes him kind of realize the error of his ways. And he tells us, the audience, and also the JSA, that he is not the real hero. His son was the hero who sacrificed himself to give Teth Adam his powers. And once Teth Adam realizes, the error of his ways due to the ideology and the battling with Hawkman and Dr. Fate, he eventually relinquishes his powers. But by the end of the movie, the JSA, specifically, again, Hawkman and Dr. Fate, they make the realization that, yes, Black Adam is mostly a villain, but he can combine that hero mentality that they're trying to tell him, along with the darker edge and villainous side that he already has, in order to make him that anti-hero and that perfect protector of Kahndaq. Very well done arc for Black Adam, I will say, and I was honestly surprised with that. And speaking of the JSA, let's talk about them. I first want to talk about the things that I didn't like about the JSA, and then I'll talk about the things that I did like. First off, Dr. Fate, Kent Nelson. I don't understand the conclusion to this character in this film. They introduced Dr. Fate, one of the most powerful characters in DC Comics, and he gets one-shotted by Sabbac, a garbage villain in this movie, which I'll talk about later. He one-shots Dr. Fate And I know they tried to make it some emotionally resonant moment with him dying, but they forget we've never seen him in the DCEU yet. We don't know the prior backstory leading up to this character in this moment. So trying to make it seem emotionally resonant and killing off one of the most powerful characters in DC and also wasting an amazing casting with Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate was very, very questionable to me. And on top of that, there was a rushed backstory and lack of backstory in general for a lot of the JSA stuff. Like Hawkman, for example, we don't get a lot of backstory on him, but it is what it is. JSA definitely could have been better. But with that being said, they were still solid in this film. I'm not going to sit here and act like Pierce Brosnan and Aldis Hodge didn't give great performances as their characters. Dr. Fate looked amazing. His power set looked awesome in this film. They could have even done more with his power set because, like I mentioned, he is extremely powerful, but they didn't. It is what it is. Still, Pierce Brosnan gave a great performance, and I was very excited to see Dr. Fate. Aldis Hodge's Hawkman, he was pretty cool as well. Gave a kind of a regal, leader sense to the character, which was nice. Atom Smasher and Cyclone, I'm not expecting some The Rock and Kevin Hart level duo here. It's Atom Smasher and Cyclone. They were just there to be fun to watch, provide some levity to the movie overall. And they did that. This team as a whole as well has very, very good performances across the board. And the power showcasing for all of them was absolutely phenomenal. So the JSA I thought was a very cool introduction. And it branches out, and adds something new to the DCEU. And yes, I am excited and curious to see them in future projects. And that's probably what DC was trying to do here. Introduce some characters, get you to know them a little bit, and then they're going to further down the line in the DCEU flesh them out more. So the JSA, I would say, is a success, but they definitely could have been better. And I will say I was interested in the dynamic between Hawkman and Dr. Fate in this movie. I thought that was cool and very, very interesting. There was something intriguing about it. I thought the performances, the way they bounced off each other, made it more cool and more intriguing. Before I get to the non-character related stuff in this review, I just want to quickly touch on Sabbac, the villain of this movie. He was bad. He lacked character development, and he did have backstory, but we're not attached to it, and we're not attached to the character. It's not a great performance we're getting here, and overall, he is a very generic villain. He is actually genuinely the worst villain in the entire DCEU. Bad development, bad character, no engagement or attachment to the guy whatsoever. So I just want to quickly, to brush over that villain, just like the movie brushed over him. And now onto the non-character related things. The soundtrack, first of all, in this movie is very, very well done. I think it fits, the triumphant nature of Black Adam. I thought that the soundtrack aligned very well with that. And I thought that throughout the movie, they played it very well at certain points. I do wish they played it, a little bit louder, more triumphant at other points in the film. That's a very minor nitpick, so it didn't really ruin anything for me. Visual effects and the cinematography and the CGI in this film, brilliant. Visual quality is top notch. All of the powers look great. The settings look very good. A lot of it takes place in Kahndaq, but Kahndaq looks very, very nice as well. And also, the lighting, the saturation, all that stuff I thought looked very brilliant. The CGI is dang near spotless, to be honest with you. There's a couple shots you could point out, but you could do that with any superhero movie that's ever existed. And also with the action scenes, I thought the action in this movie was very great. It was unique. It was creative. They did the slow motion directorial style, which I thought was cool. And they showcased the powers of these characters well with these action sequences. Like Black Adam's super strength, the lightning, the super speed was showcased well for him. Cyclone, for example, with her wind powers, she looked awesome using her powers. That was really cool. And Dr. Fate, obviously, his visual quality with his powers was awesome. And the costume designs were great. Everything like that throughout this film was just very, very well done. They made sure that this movie looked good, kept you entertained with the action scenes, and gave you a lot of cool moments in those scenes as well. Lastly, I want to talk about Henry Cavill being back as Superman in that post-credit scene. That was absolutely awesome. The scene itself was very, very great, and it was very, very hype as well. We're all excited to see Cavill back as Superman. We've been asking for him, Batfleck, and Gal, for a long time to see them back, and now we have Cavill back, and we can only assume, we know that Ben Affleck will be in Aquaman 2, and he'll be in the Flash movie, and Gal is rumored to appear in Shazam. So it looks like DC is starting to listen to the fans, and they're going to give us what we want. All we had to do was wait. So I'm very excited to see that, and I'm excited to see what they do with Superman down the line in the DCEU. And after seeing this movie, Black Adam, bro, I really want to see those two and Shazam interact. I think that would be very good. And overall with this movie, not just because of the post-credit scene, but also because of other things, the DCEU has expanded and it feels more interconnected. We got Hardcore from Peacemaker, tying in the events of Suicide Squad and the Peacemaker show itself. We got to see also the Task Force X base, where there were a lot of imprisoned beings down there in that cell where they held Black Adam at. That was very interesting. And that alone, I mean, if those beings are superpowered, that could set up a lot of projects down the line. You just have superpowered beings, like hundreds of them just imprisoned. That's very interesting. And then, you got the expansion of the Shazam mythology. You got that JSA, which is going to get future projects and expand the DCEU even more. And obviously that Cavill post-credit scene did wonders. Overall, this movie, in my opinion, set out to do what exactly it wanted to do, which was to give Black Adam a good origin story, expand the DCEU, introduce the JSA, give us an action-packed and fun theater experience, and most importantly, make us even more excited for the future of the DCEU. And also, it did bring back Henry Cavill as Superman, so that was amazing. And it did all of those things. And so I walked out, I felt satisfied. I asked for something, and I got it, and so I can't be mad. I would give this film around like a 7.5, maybe even an 8. I'd say it's a very solid movie, and I'm probably going to go see it again. So guys, that is going to do it for my spoiler review of Black Adam. If you've seen the movie, let me know in the comment section. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you feel somewhere in the middle? Feel free to let me know how you feel about the film. I'm glad to be back here making YouTube videos, and I will be more consistent on here as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Peace out.